Hi boys and girls. So for today's video we're going to learn how to multiply decimals with whole numbers. So you've got a couple of steps. We're going to go through the steps with a specific example. So here's the example. We have 6 times 4 and 23/100ths. Step 1 is to ignore the decimal points and multiply as you would with whole numbers. So basically you actually pretend that these are just whole numbers, that it's 6 times 423. We're going to stack it vertically. And of course 423 would go on the top times 6, because if you put it like this, it just looks weird. We're not going to do it like that. And then we're just going to multiply it regular, as if there were whole numbers. So multiply 6 times 3 is 18. Carry the 1 above the 2 in the tens place. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Carry the 1 above the 4 in the hundreds place. And then finally 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So my whole number answer, or 423 times 6, is 2,538. In order to figure out where we're going to put that decimal point back into our answer, which we have to do, we're going to count the places to the right of the decimal point. So in this particular one, we've got, here's our example again, 6 times 4.23. I find it easier to go ahead and count our decimal places when it's horizontal like this. Decimal places are places to the right of the decimal point. So this one has no DPs or no decimal places. But this one, 4 and 23/100ths, has 2 decimal places or 2 DPs. All together, because sometimes when we move on, we're going to have 2 decimals, and we're going to have to go ahead and add them. All together, we've got 2 decimal places. So that's step 2. We multiplied as if it was whole numbers. We figured out how many decimal places were in both of our factors. And now we're going to use step 3. Swoop the hidden decimal point that many places from the right to the left in your answer to place your decimal point back in. So remember, our whole number answer was 2,538. We know that we have to have 2 decimal places. Our hidden decimal point is always at the end of a number, because if 2,538 with a decimal point at the end is still 2,538. We determined that we have to swoop it 2 places to the left. So you grab it 1 place, 2 places, land your decimal point between the 5 and the 3, cross out at the end because you moved it. And now we're going to rewrite our answer clean. So you cannot leave this mess here for me to go ahead and interpret. You're going to have to rewrite it without any swoops. 25 and 38/100ths. So that's what we're saying. 6 times 4 and 23/100ths is 25 and 38/100ths. Is our answer reasonable? Well, how can we figure that? Well, what we can do is estimate. So we've done a lot of estimating. So our problem was 6 times 4 and 23/100ths. Remember that we can go ahead and estimate a decimal to the nearest whole number. We're always going to go to the nearest whole number or the ones place. So if we round 4 and 23/100ths to the ones place, that 2 tells the 4 to go ahead and round down, which means that we add nothing to the 4 and it stays the same. So it rounds to 4. We don't have to do anything with the 6. We can just bring it down. There's nothing we need to go ahead and round. We're only going to round the decimal. So 6 times 4 is 24. So we expect our answer to be about 24. Are they close? They sure are, because that's 25 whole and 38 hundredths. We thought it should be about 24. That's totally reasonable. You're definitely going to need your multiplication chart and just reminders on how to go ahead and do the multiplication. But other than that, the steps for the swooping are not too bad.